Hello, my friends. It's good to be back. I also want to thank those of you who are not my friends who've asked me when am I going to be on air again. And now we start a new series. To those of you who have called, written, spoken to me, and demanded that there be a strong voice, as you were used to, I have acquiesced to your will, and I've restarted this program. My friends, we are living during some very difficult times. Very difficult times. And it's appropriate that we examine them and understand them and take necessary measures. And it's incumbent upon the grassroots, and I've always spoken to the grassroots, that we prepare ourselves effectively for what is coming down the pipeline. First, we have to understand, when in Canada was there a shift? And I would say there was a paradigm shift in the year 2002 in September. You might remember that that was the time when Bibi was going to speak at Concordia. There were rioters, and 700 Jewish students were put into an auditorium and were locked in there, and the rioters were outside doing their things, smashing windows and so on. Now, it was very telling. 700, I'm going to repeat that, 700 Jewish students in the auditorium. They stayed there. They did not feel it necessary to go out and confront the rioters. A major statement was made at that time that the hooligans could get away with what they're doing. And incidentally, no prime minister, no minister from Israel, no military leader, no leader from civil society has spoken at a major function on a campus in Canada. Those rioters got their way. And I dare say, hundreds of thousands of dollars have been spent for sending administrators to Israel to give them an understanding of what the democracy is in Israel, to what the true nature is of Israel, and yet all in vain, because right across this country, on campuses, it's filled with hate. Hate! Imagine, it's almost like the 1930's, when you can have someone say, punch a Zionist in the face. Punch a Zionist in the face. And get away with it. And there's a debate whether yes to resign, not to resign, and so on. My God, a call for violence. And there is a general debate. There is garbage across the country filled with hatred. And I'm not talking only against the living, I'm also talking against the dead, the cemeteries. Because these are cowards. But we, the grassroots people, have to be vocal. It's not good enough, in the case of the modern Orthodox, to tell our kids, well, don't wear kippot when you're walking on the street. Men put on a baseball cap. Nothing looks sillier than a religious Jew with payas and so on, who is wearing a baseball cap as if he's going to be hiding somewhere. No, we can't hide. We must confront it directly. Today we have institutions, we have synagogues, we have schools, that require special attention, JCCs that require special attention. And I don't mean the rent a security guard. I don't mean having the police do an extra patrol. No. It's time that we began to become very serious about our security. And so, when I warned in 2002 that we will see an increase in anti-Semitism, we will see that handbook that was given out at Concordia, which I called it a handbook for Osama students, we will see the tactics being even materializing today. We've seen the BDS movement, which is nothing different than the Nazis did in the 1930s. Nothing. That's when they boycotted Jewish stores and had the brown shirts standing in front of the Jewish shops and the Jewish professionals. Let's remind these people that they are emulating the Nazis of yesteryear, that they're no different than the Nazis of yesteryear. But we have to be loud. We have to be vocal. We, together with the Christian community, must bond to fight those that today are fighting Judaism and Christianity. We must also be careful, very careful and afraid of legislation in this country that speaks of Islamophobia, because certainly we're going to lose the right to identify the imams in Calgary, in Montreal, in Toronto, downtown Toronto, who are preaching hate against Christians and Jews. Will we be denied the right for our freedom of speech? Will we lose our voice? I believe that it is absolutely imperative that we make certain that the Liberal government understands fully that we must be allowed to have the right to identify and bring to the attention of the Canadian community anti-Semitism, whether it's coming from the mosque, whether it's coming from a synagogue, whether it's coming from a church. We must be able to identify it clearly. There is no preference. There should not be a preference. I want to wish everyone a Chag Sameach, good Purim, and we will meet again next week. All the best.